Oh, cow. A drive to deep left center, and that ball is out of here. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No? What happened? He caught it? You gotta be kidding. I know I gotta get these glasses changed. Seaver saw it and I didn't believe him. Oh, I gotta see that again before I declare it. Now look at Stanley looking back. I'm doing the same thing. Watch this. Here he goes. Big son of a gun hit the fence and held on. At the end of 7, it's the Yankees 4 and the Orioles 2.
The great Phil Rizzuto calling it like it never was, like nobody else could in the game. Phil Rizzuto. Oh man, Yankee fans, glad you tuned in today. Hey, first, welcome to the Third Floor Podcast, everybody. Greetings, people of Earth. How are you? Today on the podcast, we got a little sports show going for you. We're going to do the top 5 Yankees of all time, and we're also going to run down this week's picks in the NFL. Was going to go on last night, but things didn't just quite work out. But I did have the Bills, so we're all right there. Before we start, my best to Tua, man. I really hope everything works out for the guy, man. No athlete deserves anything like this. My personal opinion, I don't even think he should have been playing after the other series of concussions. I mean, we got to start taking this stuff a little bit. I mean, we're taking it as serious as we can right now, but we have to step up our game for sure. But anyway, hey, let's get into it, man. Yankees top 5 of all time. You know, when I first committed to doing this, I was second guessing myself. I was like, what in the hell did I just get into? How the hell am I going to do the top 5 Yankees of all time? Sounds like an impossible task, even for a great Yankee fan like myself, who started back in 1970 with the team. I was fortunate enough, my Uncle Jerry, who was a huge Yankee fan, Mickey Mantle guy, took me to every opening day at Yankee Stadium from 1970 through 1987. That's a long stretch of opening days at Yankee Stadium, man. I had a lot of great memories, plus so many other ball games in between. We can go into that another time. My history down there, over there in the Bronx, man. In the original, actually, I was lucky enough to attend in all 3-4 stadiums. The original Yankee Stadium, it's a cathedral. Right now, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. But anyway, when I got into this, I said, what the hell am I doing trying to figure out who the top 5 Yankees are of all time? It's got to be that's impossible to do. I mean, where do you begin? Where do you, the list is endless. So what I did, I went down a little rabbit hole. I came up with some numbers and stuff like that. So for all you stat and number nuts out there, buckle up because I got some numbers for you. Let's bring it on over here right now. So let's jump right into it as we go. Let's get right into it here, man. Top 5 Yankees of all time. Like I said, when I first started this, I thought I was out of my mind to do it. But when I sat down, I said, this is the easiest list I ever put together in my life. It fell into place like a 5-piece puzzle, man. It was too easy. 4 corners and a center. And I was like, wow, okay. So what I did, being the list was so simple to make, we'll look at a couple numbers here and there, and I think we'll let things speak for themselves. But I did take one individual in this list, and I think what I got for you is going to be pretty astounding. It's going to be outrageous. It's going to be amazing. You're going to you'll be like, what? That's got to be impossible. You got to relook that. No. I went down the rabbit hole, and what I came up with it blew my mind as I got into it. You're just going to be. So let's go. Top 5 Yankees. Number 1 Yankee of all time. I'm going to start with 1 through 5. It's the easiest way to do it. Where do you start? You start the same place you do in baseball. You start with Ruth. How do the argument ends there. Okay, Ruth's numbers, they speak for themselves. I'm not an analytic guy, so I like the original raw numbers of what it was. And just looking back on Ruth, his career numbers, we got him at 8,399 at-bats. That's a lot of at-bats, okay? 2,873 hits, 714 homers. He had a lifetime batting average of 342. 342 lifetime. 2,174 runs, 2,214 RBIs, 123 stolen bases. Who would have known? His on-base percentage is 474. His slugging is 690, which seems low for me. His OPS is 1164. His OPS plus is 206. Like I said, when they get into those numbers, I can care less. Forget all that. The man to this day still holds pitching records in World Series history. He still holds World Series records. The argument ends there. I think everybody just went, yeah, you're right. Okay. Get on to the second guy. It's the bookend of him, Lou Gehrig. I mean, Lou Gehrig, another one, when we look into what the guy was meant to the game, what he was to the game, this guy, Ivy League, I mean, just an amazing all-around athlete out of Columbia. You look his numbers up, it's like they don't end. Some of them feel like they're not even what do you call let's call it, you want to call it real? I mean, a little lag in here. Here we go. When we go to oh yeah, by the way, WAR, the whatever was that win after replacement or something, Ruth was 182.4. To me, that's like what, a season and a quarter. I don't know how to read that exactly, and I really don't care, but that was impressive. 182.4 lifetime WAR. Here's another guy with a 113.7 WAR, but who cares? All right. Gehrig, 6'2", 200 pounds, big lefty. Like I said, an incredible story. If you've never seen the Lou Gehrig story with Gary Cooper, maybe put it on your list. And if that don't touch you, and then there's something fucking wrong with you. Anyway, he was born in New York, June 19th, 1903, which is ironic. 1903, the year the Yankees were born. He was born. You can't make this stuff up. You can't even write it like that. Okay. 8,001 at bat. 2,721 hits. 493 homers. Batted 340. 340 lifetime. Numbers. I mean, where are you? Show me anyone who's close to anything like this right now, man. 1,888 runs, 1,995 RBIs, 102 stolen bases. Now, put that in perspective. Ruth outstole him, and he was the better athlete, quicker, faster. More, you know what I'm saying. His on-base percentage was 447, slugged 632. His OPS was 1.080, and his OPS plus was 179. Again, when we get into these numbers and you talk about the ball players themselves that I got on this list, you think back to that 27 team, which is still the pinnacle, and probably, if not, it is the greatest team ever assembled, Murderers Row, 1927. If you don't know their numbers, just look into it. You almost think that somebody was faking it. It's like the team was just amazing. Pitching, defense, hitting, base running, on base percentage, everything. No wonder they called it Murderers Row, you know? But yeah, so he kind of fits right in there. Like I said, bookend 1, 2. You can't go any further. You got to start right there with the list, especially in the top 10 of baseball. Probably you start with those guys 1, 2, or 1, 3, however you want to put it. I really don't care. But as far as Yankee lore, it's Ruth, it's Gehrig, and number 3, Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio was all around everything you needed in a ball player. Arguably, it's always, when people bring up the argument, who's the greatest baseball player in the history of the game, you're either going to hear Willie Mays or you're going to hear Joe DiMaggio. Very, very, very rarely will you hear any other name in that argument. Bias, yeah, but breaking it down, man, Joe D just was the man. Joe D was something really, really, really something special. Hey, the guy banged Marilyn Monroe. It ends there. The guy's number 3 on the list, people. All-time Yankee, for numbers, for everything he did to the game. Plus, he had Marilyn Monroe, man. 79.1 on his WAR, 6,821 at bats, 2,214 hits, 361 homers, batted 325 for his career. Now, if you see these numbers, they just drop just a little bit. That's because the game is starting to progress in a different era. It's becoming a different form of baseball. But the numbers are still comparable to what we were talking, but they're off, they're lower. There's more teams, there's more players, better athletes. The war's over, the war's on, pre-war, during the war, after the war. That's where we're in right now. And that's where these numbers are reflected. So amazing, still even more amazing. And this man lost the year because he donned a uniform and went and fought World War II along with Ted Williams and many, many other guys. You just don't see shit like that. And then they come back. Come on. And they're still putting up the numbers they did when they left. Forget about it. Forget about it. 1,390 runs, 1,537 RBIs, 30 stolen bases for Joe. Now, is that because he wasn't just known as a stealer or fleet of foot? No, he was fast. As a matter of fact, he innovated something on the base, on running the bases that I implemented in my game when I found out what he was talking about and how to do it. Never step on the base, just corner. That's what you use the side of the base for. Never step on the base to make a turn. Cut the corner right off the bag. Cuts down almost 4 or 5 steps to second. So maybe he wasn't just at first that much to steal second. That's the numbers I get, or the scenario that number fits, because everything else is way up there. Now, if you look at his on base percentage, 398, slugging 579, OPS 977, OPS plus, again, whatever the hell that is 155. We all know Joe D for so many things, but the one thing we know him for more than anything is the 56 game hitting streak. And that's the rabbit hole I went down. So as soon as this list is over, we're going down that rabbit hole, and I'm going to throw something at you about that 56 game hitting streak that you never even thought of, never would even conceive. And when I tell you when hang in there, it's going to be amazing. Blew my mind. Anyway, let's get on to number 4. Well, number 4, Mickey Mantle. Mickey, I think it just speaks for itself when you even mention the name of Mantle. Just a tremendous all-around athlete, a really personable guy. There's a lot of things to say about Mantle. Hold on one second. We got a little technical difficulty. It didn't want to bring up Mantle on my other. I got 2 things working here, so I didn't have to do that, but I have to do that because I have this freaking out on me. But if this ever comes back to life, which it is now, okay, we'll worry about that. But getting to Mantle, Mickey Mantle, like I was telling you about my uncle who took me to every Yankee opening day. He was a Mantle guy, and no matter what sport he played in as a kid, and even later on, we played softball together in many, many leagues, tournaments, travel ball, whatever. He wore 7. And he wore it proudly. But Mantle, a lot of people don't know this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think still to this day, the fastest batter Mick was a switch hitter, so the fastest batter from the right-handed batter box was Mickey Mantle, and then the fastest out of the box from the left side was Mickey Mantle. I don't think anybody's. And you think there's been some speedsters since him. I mean, even Ricky Henderson wasn't as fast from the right-handed batter's box to first than Mickey Mantle. Yeah, well, you got to wrap that one a little bit tighter around your brain. I know some of these numbers and statistics I found are just flat out crazy, but that's why we love this freaking game. Mantle, 110.2 WAR, 8,102 at bats. 2,415 hits, 536 homers, all of which they're probably still looking for about 36 of them balls that he hit. He finished up at a 298. Not bad for the Mick. 298. He's the first one on our list under 300. 1,676 runs, 1,509 RBIs, 153 stolen bases. Mickey was fast, man. And stealing wasn't big in them days. His on base was 421, slugging 557, his OPS 977, and his OPS plus was 172. Again, just absolutely. What? No idea what's going on here. Hold on, I'm sorry, folks, but it happens. So I got to go back to this one because my tablet's. I don't know what's going on here. Are you going to cooperate yet? No, it doesn't want to cooperate. So what? It's just like a commercial break. So what's the difference? I still got you. It still got you right. We're ready to go here. Especially with number 5 on the list. But finishing up with Mick. Mick was not only a great ball player, but highly controversial off the field. I mean, we all know about his history with Martin and the Copacabana incident, and there's so many stories. Real quick, I'm going to give you my favorite Mickey Mantle story about Billy Martin. They were driving to, I believe, Kansas City for a game. They used to drive in them days. Imagine that. They used to partner up and drive. Well, anyway, long story short, they were driving together, and it looked like there was a storm moving in. They weren't going to be able to make it. They still had some time to spend the night, get up, and still ride into Kansas City to make it, but they didn't want to ride in the storm. So Mickey remembered that he had a friend of his that had a farm there, not too far from where they actually were. So he thought he'd take a ride over there with Billy in the car, of course, and everything. So when he went to the property he went up, he told Billy, wait in the car, let me go talk to the guy first of all, blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be an issue. So Mickey went in and talked to the guy. The guy was, of course, yeah, you could stay in the back room or back, whatever the fuck, right? So they came back out, and Mickey thought, this would be a good time to pull a joke on Billy. Well, you talk about jokes backfiring. Mick gets in the car and he's like, that son of a bitch. He said, no, like, God damn, that no good son of a bitch. Said, I ain't, Yankee staying here and this, that, and the other thing. Goes, damn, Billy, man, that makes me mad as hell. And off in front of him, Mickey starts the car up and they look in front of him and there's a whole bunch of cows. Mick says, that son of a bitch in there? I should teach him a lesson and kill his cows. Well, before Mick could say anything else, Billy jumps out the car, reaches in the back seat because they had a rifle there, and started plucking cows. And Mickey had to get out of the car, basically tackle him with a rifle in his head, while Billy's shooting guys fucking cows. Fuck him, Mick. I mean, could you picture this? Could you picture that story getting on ESPN today? Holy shit. True story. If you don't believe me, it's in Mick's book. It's in Whitey Ford's book. I believe it's in Yogi Berra's book, and it's definitely in Billy Martin's book. So, stories there, classic. Only Billy, man, only Billy. But Mickey was that kind, a little controversial. But Mickey was a great guy, and he admitted later in life it was his drinking and the way he was doing, and it just ruined him, man. Hitting the drain in center field in Yankee Stadium didn't help either when it blew his knee out, and that pretty much ended his career. But as a Yankee, as a Major League Baseball historic player, Mick lands number 4 on this list very easily. Now, number 5. You ready, people? Number 5. I feel that there's no way in hell that this list can go any further without. You can go, in other words, this guy at number 5, this is it. That's the end of the list. Everybody else you want to argue and fight about, it starts after this guy. And that guy is none other than Yogi Berra. All right, let's put this in perspective. We all have 10 fingers. Well, Yogi has 10 fingers, plus he has 10 rings for those fingers. Okay. So out of the 27 world championships that this organization has won in its history, Yogi has been part of 10 of them. Okay. I think you can understand where I said this was the easiest list to put together. And it fell in order. I didn't have to put it in order because most of what happens in Yankee lore starts with number 5. What happens in baseball history and becomes the iconic centerpiece of the Yankees starts with Babe Ruth. Yogi was 5'7", 185 pounds, born in St. Louis, Missouri. We all know him for his Yogiisms, and we'll get into that because I'm going to do a special on Phil Rizzuto, Yogi Berra, and a couple of other we're going to call Yankee characters, and we'll get into it. And we'll bring up some stories and we'll play some clips and stuff like that. But when you talk about catchers, how many catchers' careers go 10 years? Yeah, I didn't think so. How many catchers' careers go beyond 10 years? And let's say 12 years, 15 years. How many catchers in baseball history have played the game for 12 years and have 10 rings while they played in those years? Think about that. And then you'll understand why. How else can you not have Yogi Berra as number 5 on this all-time list of Yankees? So there you have it, my friends. The top 5 Yankees of all time. Ruth, Garrett, DiMaggio, Mantle, Berra. I think the comments are on. When I drop this, I'm pretty sure you can comment. Drop your comments, but I think you will agree with me 100,000% if you put it in perspective. If you're a Yankee fan, for sure, you'll understand. If you're a baseball fan, you might question, well, why not? Well, no, you got to understand something. This is the core of why we're Yankee fans. From the beginning to the current times, there's so much lore for us to go back on to know we are one of the greatest, we are the greatest organization in sports history. When it comes to World Series, 27 world championships in the world. For all other world championship sports, the Yankees are number 1. I think the closest to us is Manchester United or Manchester City. I always get the two confused. So you people over there in Europe with your football and your soccer, cool. Manchester United, Manchester City, whichever one. I know they're 1 or 2, and then I think Montreal Canadiens and then St. Louis Cardinals. But when it comes to baseball, there's 27 world championships for the Yankees. The closest team to us is the St. Louis Cardinals at 11. So good luck for anybody in this lifetime or the next lifetime catching up to the Yankees. Now, which brings me to 09 to now. We should have at least 3. I'll leave it there. The Yankees top 5 of all time. Now, like I said, I did go down a rabbit hole, and I picked out DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Okay. During DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, not going to get into all the who's the pitcher that no. We're going to a different route there. Okay, we're not going to go down that route. Okay. What route we're going to go down is Kirby Puckett, Ted Williams, Rod Carew, Bill Matlock, Pete Rose, Wade Boggs, Ichiro. Hell, you want to put Jeter on that list? Okay. Only one of them guys in that group that I mentioned came close. Okay. 1941, 56 games in a row. And one of the reasons that this record has stood so frigging long is because it is not going to be broke. It's not even going to come close. I'm going to read you the list of the top 10 hitting streaks in the history of baseball. DiMaggio 56, 1941. Number 2, Willie Keeler, 45 games. Before DiMaggio, he had the longest hitting streak in baseball. 45 games for the Baltimore Orioles, who were in the National League at that time, and that was during an 1896-1897 season. Number 3, Pete Rose. The closest to come to it, no, he was even a game short of Keller. He hit in 44 in 1978 as a Cincinnati Red. Number 4 on this list, Bill Dahlen of the Chicago Cubs, 42 games, 1894. Number 5, George Sisler. Remember him? Remember George Sisler? The St. Louis Browns, hitting 41 straight games in 1922. Don't remember him? Number 6, Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb had a hitting streak of 40 games. Highest season. Ty Cobb for Detroit, 40 games in 1911. Number 7. We're already up to number 7. Okay. You might remember this guy. I do kind of remember this was a great year for him, 1987, for Milwaukee, who was still in the American League at the time. Paul Molitor hit 39. So we're already under 40 at the 7 mark. Okay. Yeah, he hit 39 in 1987 for Milwaukee. Number 8, Jimmy Rollins of the Phillies, 38 games in the 05-06 season. Number 9, Tommy Holmes, Boston Braves, 37 games in 1945. Number 10, Gene D. Montreville of the Washington Senators of the National League, 36 games in 1896-1897 season. So in 1897, 2 guys had hitting streaks. So they were 1 and 2, and that was, like I said, number 2 on the list, Willie Keller at 45 games, and then the bottom of the list, Gene, with 36 in the same season. He played for the Washington Senators in the National League and was 36 games. There's your top 10 in the hitting hitting streaks of the top 10 hitting streaks in baseball history. Notice a lot of names missing. Did you miss Puckett up there? Williams, Carew, Matlock, Ichiro, Wade Boggs. I know I miss guys on there. Which is, do you see how strong this historic streak was? That in modern time baseball, we have 2 guys that we know of. Pete Rose. Well, you could say Ty Cobb if you're a historian, and Paul Molitor. For the current generation of ball players, you're going to remember Paul Molitor, and you're going to remember Pete Rose more. You're going to remember Ty Cobb, unless you watch the Tommy Lee Jones movie. All right, but there it goes. Strongest freaking one, probably the top record in sports, man. I mean, how high do we have to look? I mean, what's the most this and that sport? What's the most that in this sport? What's the most? I think you kind of see it kind of shit start. They break. This is something. This is a human feat performed by an incredible athlete, an amazing athlete in Joe DiMaggio. So where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its lonely eyes to you. And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Joltin' Joe is gone away. Whoa. So God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. All righty. That's not it on the 56-game hitting streak, folks. Hold on. Like I said, when the third floor goes in, we go in. And when it comes to stats and numbers, man, if you dig them, this is where you want to be. Check this out. When Joe D started his hitting streak, he was batting .306. Any idea what he was batting at the end of that hitting streak? was batting 375. He finished up at 357 that year. He led the league in RBIs and extra bases and, of course, won the MVP. The game after he ended the streak, he started a 16-game hitting streak. So basically hitting safely in 72 of 73 games. 72 out of 73 games hitting safely. And basically, if he didn't get that out that day in his last at bat, the hitting streak is at 73. Again, just one of those little in things in there. But you understand what I'm saying. That's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And then I broke it down to this little last bit of this 56-game hitting streak. 34 of those games, 1 hit. 13 of those games, 2 hits. 5 of those games, 3 hits. 4 of those games, 4 hits. I would say Joe was smacking the freaking ball pretty fucking good during that 56-game hitting streak. I'm going to have to say Joe was lit into it. And again, Joe D was something extremely special, not only to the Yankees, but to baseball history, folks. I mean, where are we really at? Really, where are we at without guys? Ruth, Garrett, DiMaggio, Mantle, Burr. Top 5 Yankees of all time. There you have it. Boom. Done. All right, moving on. NFL picks. I'm going to break it down to the whole thing. I know I'm late by a week. I included all my bullshit because I had this all ready to go, but the Apple wasn't working. So anyway, but let's get into it with our NFL predictions. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's start with the AFC East. And if you just in case you're out there, Johnny Basement, how are you? By the way, people, if you want to find a good place to go out and have live, go hang out into a chat with some super cool people who talk sports only. We all hang out. We're known as Cellar Dwellers. We're in Johnny Basement on YouTube. Look it up. Chill place, man. So what he does there, he has a really cool thing. I dig it. He's even an influence on me to improve my style a little bit more. I try to watch everybody and grow, get different ideas, different things. But go check out Johnny Basement. It's where he covers Yankees, Jets, big Jet fan, NASCAR fan, and stuff like that. So he covers a lot of sports. Just go over to his channel and check it out. It's on YouTube, Johnny Basement. There you go, Johnny. Nice plug for you, buddy. And I always enjoy hanging out with you, man. Appreciate it. And I appreciate you and all the boys, man. Mr. Marine, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you very much, sir. It's my first opportunity to say that to you. Great guy, Marine. All right. There's a plug. Plug's out of the way. AFC East. Johnny, listen up, Johnny. I think you're going to like this, buddy. Yeah, I'm a bold prediction guy, and I have made some stellar ones in my past. And go back on the podcast on Spotify, the Audible ones, and listen to them, the Super Bowl breakdowns and stuff like that. Top 5 defense. Just go check it out. You really get it. Again, if you want numbers, please check it out. Check out the top 5 defense, the top 5 receivers, top 5 running backs, top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 tight ends, top 5 kickers. Go check it out. Special tributes to Mel Stoudemire and Mo on there too. Okay, go check it out. NFL predictions, AFC East. This is the way I'm going to break it down. Let me run it out and we'll go. I'm going to look for the Bills win the division. After last night, it's solidified. And again, I hope the best for Tua, and I hope his family and his doctors make the right decision and not leave it up to him right now. You got to make the call. To me, put it away. You're done, man. Don't risk it. You're too freaking young. Okay, move on. Go to the booth. Become an analyst, get a job inside one of these networks, get a podcast. We'd love to have you on board in the podcast. We don't want to see you with serious implications down the end at the road where you could hurt yourself or you could hurt somebody else. So please make the right decision. I look for the Bills to win the division, Jets to finish second, Miami third, and New England fourth. Don't take too much in what you're seeing there in New England right away, okay? Let's remember it's New England. They're still growing, okay? They still have a thing, a little ways to go there. So don't get too crazy, Patriot fans. Yeah, I do look for the Jets to finish second there. In the AFC North, I look for the Ravens, Bengals, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Cleveland is still a dumpster fire. Don't get excited. Steelers, you got to learn how to score touchdowns. Field goals ain't going to do it all year. It's just not. Okay, your defense is looking sound. You kind of look like you're almost there, but not quite yet. And I just look for them Ravens to edge out the Bengals this year. It's just one of those things. Just a feeling on that one. AFC South, let's take the Jags, Texans, Colts, Titans. All right. I know the Colts are looking good, but let's not get too crazy. The Texans are what they are. Now, I got them finishing second because I just think the Jags are going to win the division. There's a lot of implications in there, but I look outside the box a little bit. So that's why I'm picking the Jags over the Texans to win the division. In the AFC West, let's go Chargers. Let's go Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos. Broncos, almost, man. Raiders, you got too many problems. You guys still don't know what you're doing. You still don't know what you're doing. Chiefs, finishing second. What are you, crazy? They're going to the Super Bowl. No, they're not going to the Super Bowl. There's something that's avoided the Kansas City Chiefs for a little bit too long, and that's something called the injury bug. And I don't wish injuries on anybody. That's why I'm saying this team is way overdue for something. One or two big players on Kansas City go down with an injury for any length of time, they're done. People have caught up to them. The Ravens missed by a toe, okay? Kansas City of all, where's the blowout? Where's the big thing? Blah, 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 blah. Don't look for Kansas City to be that effective this year, okay? They're going to win their share of games. They're going to win their blowouts. Mahomes is going to do his little tutu freaking side step, whatever Kermit Frog move. Fuck, I don't give a shit. He's going to get racked one of these days. He's going to get lit up like a Christmas bell like he did in the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Go back and look for that iconic photo where he's laying upside down with his head halfway up his ass. I am not a Mahomes guy. Chargers win that division just based on Harbaugh. Done. That division is a lock for me as far as I'm concerned with the Chargers. Let's move on to the wild cards. Okay, so with that being said, we got the Bills winning, Ravens, Jags, Cardinals all winning their division. Look for the Bills as a wild card. I'm sorry, not the Bills. The Jets will be a wild card. The Bengals will sneak in there as a wild card. And the Texans. And the Texans will sneak in there. So you'll have the Texans, the Jets, and the Bengals as your wild card. Okay? And then we'll pick it up from there when I'm right, and we'll pick it up in the playoffs from there and see where we go. We'll see what I have left over to go with. But right now, that's what you're looking at in the AFC. In the AFC, one more time, Bills, Ravens, Jags, Chargers, Texans, Jets, Bengals. NFC, let's go to the NFC. Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Giants. Simple as that. That's just the way it's going to play out. Don't put any hope in Dallas, people. Don't put too much hope in the Eagles, man. They're just the two better teams in that division. So that division's like that to pick. Okay. In the North, you got the Lions. Okay, I'll give the Lions a division, the Packers, Vikings, and then the Bears. Packers might be in a little bit of problem without Love, but let's see where that goes because I got a little faith in this kid coming on this Sunday. Okay, so Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. Bears, they're getting there. They're getting there. They're looking good. Not enough to be any kind of contention against what the formidable opponents in front of them have. Sorry, just ain't going to work. In the NFC South, yeah, you can call me biased, but the Bucs are going to win the division. Bucs are going to win this division. So Bucs, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. Panthers, I don't even have to say anything. Falcons, they showed what they're going to be. It's like that every year. I just wait to play them head on head, get them out of the way as far as the division opponent, and let the rest of the season just fall as it will. I am not threatened by the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints, I ain't threatened by the Saints either. Not with David Carr. Sorry, ain't happening. I am seeing the Saints as a zero threat, the Falcons as a zero threat, and the Panthers shouldn't even be playing in the division. They shouldn't be. They should be swapped out with a college team, for Christ's sakes. Give me like Appalachia State. I'll take them instead of the Carolina Panthers. Division's a lock. Sorry, folks. In the West, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Cardinals still a work in progress. They're still a mess. Rams are going to be the Rams. They're just not looking good. They're just not looking good. They're not that. They lost a little fire and stuff like that. It just look flat. That's just my opinion. But they do. They look flat. Look flat. Seahawks, I got a lot of faith in Geno Smith. Yes, I do. I think he got a bum deal with the Jets, to be honest with you. I seen the kid had heart, man. Not too many quarterbacks run around with heart anymore. The kid's got it, and he's going to lead these Seahawks to second place in that division. And the 49ers are just a juggernaut right now. But you never know what'll happen. But these two will be separated by a game at the end of the year. And it could flip-flop. I could be wrong on that. Could be Seattle 49ers, could be 49ers Seattle. It's going to be there. Could be a flip-flop. But I'm looking at a game to separate them. So there you have it. The NFC East. The Eagles, the Lions, the Bucks, the 49ers. Wild cards. I'll give you the Cowboys in the playoffs. One and done. I just do that automatically just to have them in there so we can get it over with. Makes Dallas fans, hey, pick them for the playoffs. But you're done in the first round. I don't even have to wait till this rolls around. But we'll hold on to it. Cowboys. Seahawks will make the playoffs as a wild card. Like I said, be back with Geno Smith. This team is going to be formidable. It is going to be difficult to beat Seattle in the playoffs. It's going to be difficult, folks. But it can be done. But it's going to be very difficult. And if they should somehow grab a home game, look out now. You'll have a whole new attitude there. And also the Rams. Look for the Rams to sneak in as that last spot. They might even clinch it on the last week, to be honest with you. So there you have it. Cowboys, Seahawks, Rams. We'll pick that up when the playoffs roll around. But I do have an early Super Bowl prediction for you. Let's look for the Bucks and the Bills in the Super Bowl this year, okay? Bucks, Bills, Super Bowl. Call it early. There you go. I said it. It's on here. Now, when it comes to the MVP of the league, what is way too early to even consider? Nah, well, sometimes, whatever, but it's prediction time. So what better time to take a prediction at the MVP of the league than when the league just started? Say what you will. Say what you want. Tinfoil hat, Bigfoot, and aliens. Aaron Rodgers is my pick for MVP of the league this year. The only person who can beat out Aaron Rodgers this year for MVP is that guy down there in Houston, Mr. C.J. Stroud. Only guy that's got a shot. But there you go. My MVP pick early. Aaron Rodgers. Going on a limb there. But I think I've seen enough of Aaron Rodgers in my lifetime, especially playing against the Bucks or anybody else. This guy plays the game at a different level, a different attitude, different perspective. In some crazy way, he makes the game look easy, makes the game look complicated. But he has this tenacity, this I guess it's something with Green Bay quarterbacks that they somehow just have a lot of heart, amazing heart for the game. They love the game, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like, in my opinion, I ain't never seen a quarterback with more heart than Brett Favre. So maybe there's something in there in Green Bay. But this kid plays with a lot of heart, plays outside the box. Tinfoil hat, aliens, Bigfoot. Let's rock it. Aaron Rodgers. I have faith in you, buddy. All right. Before we get out of here, just want to break something down for you. 27 World Championships for the New York Yankees. Yeah, we're going to close out with the New York Yankees. 27. So what I did is I broke down the first 10, the second 10, and then the last 7. So the first 10 World Series that the Yankees were in from 1923 to 1943, they lost 7 games. 7 games in 10 World Series, and 5 of those World Series, there was 5 sweeps. 5 sweeps. 10 World Series, you lost 7 games, and you swept 5 teams. The next 10, 1947 to 1962, they lost a total of 21 games. They had 1 sweep against the Phillies. The last 7, they lost 9 games. 2 sweeps. Now, when I put the 2 sweeps down, I had to think for a second. So I put an asterisk there, went back and said, I have to check this out. Yeah, the Yankees had swept back-to-back. But what people forget is in 96, they lost the first 2 games in Yankee Stadium and then went on and swept the Braves next 4 games to win the World Series. And then the next 2 World Series, they swept. So that's 12 World Series games in a row. Then they went on to beat the Mets in the first 2 games, which says to me, when I look at the numbers, the Yankees, after they lost the 2 games to Atlanta in 96, they didn't lose 14-0. What? 14-0. Until they lost game 3 to the Mets in 2000. So from 96 to 2000, that's a beatdown, ladies and gentlemen. That's probably even a number or a stat that you weren't even thinking about. But yeah, 14-0 in World Series gameplay. That's why they're the greatest team in baseball, my friends. That's why they're the greatest team in baseball. Unbelievable. They have 23 retired numbers. 1 through 10 are all retired. 15, 16, 20, 21, 23, 32, 37, 42, 46, 49, 51. 42 is an honored number. Okay. I don't even have to tell you the names. Every Yankee fan out there just heard the number and knows exactly who wore it. Most smart, intelligent baseball fans don't need the name behind them numbers. And guess what? Well, I don't have to give them to you, and I'm not going to give them to you. 54 Hall of Famers played for the Yankees. 54 Hall of Famers played for the Yankees at one time or another. 23 went in as a Yankee. 23 Yankee Hall of Famers. It's just crazy. Just crazy. But when you talk about the Yankees, these are the numbers you're going to come up with. These are the players that you're going to come up with. This is the stuff that you're going to come up with that you just don't know. It's just crazy. It's just unbelievable. So there you have it, guys. I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to get on out of here, and we're going to head down. I was just looking for – I had something this thing just keeps on constantly screwing with me here for some reason. But, yeah, so there you have it. We have the NFL breakdown, which is really cool. The NFL picks, the NFL predictions for the playoffs and everything else. All right, I think I got it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Yes, we do. Okay, we do. Okay, it's a 46 second exit. So hang in there, and thank you for tuning in and enjoying the Third Floor podcast and the special edition sports, top 5 Yankees of all time, and the NFL predictions, and just a little bit more. I appreciate you. I hope you saw the scroll down there before. If you'd like to donate to the show, please help out. Until the next time, folks, I've got something a little different for you. All right, take us out.
Everybody thought the Scooter was back in New York, but he is actually here in Anaheim, California. I can't believe it, Scooter. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I tell you.
Go ahead, take it away. I'm exhausted.
I was on the bridge and I said to Cora, I gotta get out there. Sam and take some water outside. This place is wild, I'll tell you. They're gonna tear this down, Mercer. Did you know that? Holy cow.
That is unbelievable.
I got it. Oh, it's out there. Oh, I thought it was over here. Because Willie Randolph makes the catch. Oh, wait, that's Duncan. Where am I? Holy cow. The middle.
Basement, Mr.